Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to Breaking the Fourth Wall, Episode 9. I'm Sean Cobble.
I'm Jason Craycroft.
We don't have Sean.
I'm Sean Sorenson.
We have fake Sean Sorenson with us today.
Lock and key.
Sean couldn't make it in body today because he decided to go Greek and
dump his body in the toilet.
Yeah, he got a little food poisoning this weekend.
So got a little, the old devil's chobani.
He had a baggy roll.
So you can't listen to Jamie Lee Curtis about everything, Sean.
No. I just pictured him in the commercials now.
I'm Sean Sorenson, and I have a very healthy bowel movement today.
Activia. All right, guys, we were brought to you by InvestComics.com and Famous Faces and Funnies in West Melbourne, Florida. We are not brought to you by Activia.
Not yet.
Yeah, it's a possibility. We'll talk to them.
We're talking to big yogurt, different yogurt conglomerates. The Go-Gurt people are not happy with the swearing, so.
Yes, they're very conservative when it comes to their advertising.
We're not Zach and Cody.
I wish. That'd be awesome.
Not anymore.
All right, guys, so we got lots of news. Lots of stuff has happened over the last couple of weeks that was revealed at Emerald City. Some facts, some conjecture, but we're going to go over all that. And then we're going to go over a bunch of books for the week. And we're going to talk about the InvestComics hot picks. We also are going to talk about some of the interviews that we've done recently and that we have coming up. So you want to check those out.
You go let Fatty in.
Jay with InvestComics has done a really great job of setting us up with some awesome interviews lately. We recently had Joe Harris from Great Pacific and the recently announced X-Files Season 10. It's going to be coming out for IDW. Speaking of IDW, we had Chris Ryall.
Yeah.
He is the editor-in-chief and chief creative officer of IDW Comics and writer of The Hollows and the upcoming The Colonized. It was a pretty good interview with him, so check that out. We also just posted last night our interview with the King of the Nerds Season 1 winner, Celeste.
It was just Queen then, right?
Well, yeah, but that kind of counteracts the whole title of the show.
So. Oh, yeah, they really was a loaded thing when they thought it was going to be a guy winning.
Yeah, and it turned out to be 3 girls and 1 guy in the finals, so they kind of...
Leave it to a bunch of nerds.
Yeah. So we did a short interview with her that was really good, and then immediately following that is a pretty lengthy hour and some change recap and review show that Kirsty and myself and our buddy Andy Partridge did. So that's pretty good. It's up right now. Go check that out. We also just did a nice, long, awesome interview with Norm Brayfogle, legendary Batman artist and current Batman Beyond artist. It was like a 2-hour interview. We talked about a little bit of everything. That dude is awesome. So if you want strict nothing but current comics content talk, it's not for you. But we talked about everything. That dude's amazing. So go check out the interview. It'll be up probably Tuesday or Wednesday. We don't want to throw a bunch of episodes at you in one day. We'll give you 2 or 3. But the Norm Brayfogle one is really awesome. I really recommend you check it out. So we got lots of news. I just mentioned the... Joe Harris is going to be writing X-Files Season 10, direct continuation from the series. I think it's a little bit afterwards. I believe it starts out with they gave Scully and Mulder new identities and they're living their lives outside of the X-Files. But they get sucked back in, of course.
Yeah. And
probed and all that good stuff. So,
it's a mix of Californication and X-Files.
Yes, it's exactly what it is. I heard that they were actually dating in real life now.
Mulder and Scully?
Yeah.
I don't care.
That's kind of awesome. It took a little while, so maybe that's what brought this back. I don't know. Okay,
he's a sex addict, though.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
So
in the show and in real life. So.
Maybe she is. I don't know.
We can only hope. So there was all kinds of other announcements. I don't remember what was announced at Emerald City and what has been announced since then, so it's a kind of a mix over the last couple weeks. DC did a little more announcing. They announced the new Superman book with Scott Snyder and Jim Lee. The official title is Superman Unchained.
The D is silent.
D is silent.
It's the 10th time I've said that.
And it's funny every time. I don't care. So the Superman Unchained.
I like the way you fly, boy.
So that's coming out in June, I believe. Of course, we had the Batman Superman announcement with Greg Pak and Jay Lee. They also announced that Pandora's finally getting her own book, and it's called Trinity of Sin Pandora. And they also changed the Phantom Stranger to Trinity of Sin Phantom Stranger. So I would...
Trinity of Sin is an excellent title of anything. That being said, I don't know if it's going to be good, but...
I like the Phantom Stranger book. I don't know if it's for everybody, because it is kind of a weird, hello, dog drinking every time we have an episode. Our dogs don't drink water ever unless we're recording. And then they drink for an hour.
And then pee on shoes.
And then pee on everything. Thank you, Fox. But it would only... make sense that they're also going to do the question, Trinity of Sin, the question, because in last year's Free Comic Book Day, when they started the Trinity of Sin little mini book or whatever, they had the question, who was the other one of the Trinity. So I don't know when that's coming out, but there are like 2 books I haven't announced yet for June, I guess. June solicits after all the cancellations. There's 50 titles announced, and the other 2 are still up in the air, so... There's a lot of conjecture on what they might be. The question might be one of them. They're talking about another DC Presents kind of book. There might be a Brave and the Bold. There might be Kamandi, the Last Boy on Earth.
What about Captain Karat?
That would be awesome. I would read that. Like, I don't want to read that Threshold book, but I want to read about Captain Karat.
Well, I wonder if he's going to be in Larfleeze then.
Yeah, he might, because Larfleeze was definitely announced in the new solicitations that he is...
That's my kid in high heels.
That's awesome.
Good God.
So Larfleeze #1 is definitely coming out. It's not going to be, it isn't taking over Threshold as far as I know, because they're both solicited for that month. They also mentioned in the new Green Lantern, which we'll get to later, that there is a group called the Outsiders that they talk about. So maybe a Batman and the Outsiders book is coming back, or just an Outsiders book. I don't know.
Stay gold. We'll find out.
Yes. Stay gold, Pony Boy. Stay gold. A couple other things. I like the book Bedlam by Nick Spencer and Riley Rossmo a lot, but Riley Rossmo said during Emerald City that he's leaving the book due to creative differences, which is a shame because I really like his art. The dude's crazy prolific, so I don't think he's going to have any problem, putting lots of books out. Archie is putting out, they usually put out those 100-page digests all the time. You can see them at the grocery store or the checkout lines, and I don't remember how much they usually cost. I'm guessing probably
$5.99.
$5.99? Oh, that's pretty good. Well, they announced a new 1,000-page digest. I guess it's going to have a little bit of everything in it, obviously, from because there's a dozen Archie titles they put out. And it is Archie 1,000-page digest, black and white, $15.99.
That's a lot of Riverdale.
That is. But that's an awesome deal. Like,
who cares if it's an awesome deal? Like, 1,000 pages of Archie.
Dude, you put that next to the toilet, and you can read Archie for the rest of your life, just a little bit at a time. And one book, one toilet investment for years.
That'll force you to have like a prolapsed anus because you'll want to push that out so you can get out of the toilet and stop reading Archie. That's crazy.
I learned a little bit about Archie publications because in the interview with Norm Brayfogle that you guys will get in a couple days, he did Archie for a while. He worked on it for a couple of years. Yes, he did.
Get it?
He did.
See what I did there?
I see. The D is silent.
Shh, Archie, shh. I'll put that crown on you this time.
Give Archie the old silent D. But he worked on Archie for a couple of years there. And I never really thought about how Archie publications work. I mean, they've been putting out books for years and years and years. They put out a ton of stuff, and they're contrary to what most comic readers think. Archie's one of the best-selling books in the world. It's huge.
I buy Archie stuff, but not Archie. I buy the Sonic stuff. Mm. And there's a huge Sonic crossover coming up with Mega Man.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know it is.
Well, isn't Sonic like the #1 selling book in the world right now, or in America?
Oh, I don't know. It's pretty badass though. But there's like Sonic and Sonic Universe, and then they're having a Sonic Universe crossover with Mega Man.
That's pretty awesome. I'll check that out because I like Mega Man a lot.
Mega Man's awesome.
But this book is only $15.99, and if you get it on Amazon, it's $8.47. So for $9, you get 1,000 pages worth of. I mean, of course, it's previously released Archie stuff, but I mean, there's no way you can keep up with all this stuff. Like I said, there's like a dozen books. Life with everybody, Life with Archie, Life with Veronica, Betty. Yeah.
They needed a super dark Archie, like not or like whoever like gets shunned and ignored at wherever the hell they go to school.
Yeah,
like some trench coat mafia Archie kid.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
There's
like
Well, there's like the
brooding, crazy.
There's like the ultimate version of that coming up when we talk about Avengers here in a minute. Like
it's kind of like Todd, the ugliest kid on earth.
Yeah,
it's kind of the dark Archie kid.
He really is. It's crazy. And he's so happy. That kid is like, woo, everything's awesome.
There's a good chance he's going to get raped in one of these issues.
Yeah. All right, what else we got here? We got I guess this has been in the works for a while. It's just been kind of unknown when it was going to come out. They just talked about it a little more. Gail Simone and Ethan Van Sciver are doing a Plastic Man book, and it's supposed to have Swamp Thing in it also. I don't know if this is going to be like a one-shot graphic novel or a mini or what, or if it's going to be in a New 52 continuity or anything, but they're talking about that. I completely disagree with everything Ethan Van Sciver thinks as far as political things go, but the guy's a good artist when he actually puts stuff out. So, what's
his political problem?
He is super Republican, dude. He is as Republican right-wing as you could possibly get.
How can you draw well, I guess Frank Miller.
Yeah. No, like him and Joe Harris are really good buddies, and because they worked on like Firestorm together, they've been good friends for a while, and they're opposite as you could possibly get, opposite ends of the spectrum politically, and they box on Facebook all the time and just snipe at each other. It's pretty awesome. Like right now, there's a thing about Ashley Judd is going to run for Senate in Kentucky, where I'm from. So she's like, that's their latest thing. He's only like, it's only been a little bit on there so far, but it's pretty awesome. I love when people like that talk about shit like that. It's hilarious. Also, Gail Simone has another thing coming out for Dynamite, I believe. She's doing Red Sonja ongoing, which could be cool. I guess, I don't know if Red Sonja is one of those open source characters or not.
Isn't it in the Conan universe?
It was in the Conan universe, but Dark Horse is doing Conan right now, and Dynamite is doing the Red Sonja stuff because she's in that prophecy book.
Did Robert E. Howard even create Red Sonja?
I don't remember. I don't know.
That's a long time ago.
I think it might have just been another one that they kind of said
because he died really young.
Yeah, I think it was one of the ones where they just figured she was a similar character and they could put them in the same universe. And so back in the 70s when they were doing all the big Conan stuff, that they just kind of mashed them together.
The Brigitte Nielsen movie.
Yeah, that was a fine cinema right there. But one of the cool things about that is they're doing a bunch of different covers. Surprise, Dynamite's going to do 500 variant covers. I think they're doing 6 or 8, something like that. But one of them is Fiona Staples of Saga, so that could be pretty cool. So I'm at least going to probably grab that cover and what the hell, I'll check it out. I like Gail Simone, so let's see if she can keep Red Sonja interesting. This is from a couple weeks ago. I forgot to mention it on the last episode because we were kind of in a rush. Monkey Brain is a digital-only comic company that puts out a lot of stuff. Their big book is called Edison Rex. Maybe not their biggest book, but it seems one that's getting the most hype. Well, they announced that Image and IDW and some other companies possibly are going to be putting their books into print. Image has got one. I can't remember which one they got, but IDW is going to get Edison Rex and a few others. I think they announced 6 or 7 books total. So if you're one of those just completely anti-digital guys that wouldn't touch these books, you'll get a chance to read those now soon. What else we got? South by Southwest is coming up, and Marvel is using it as a platform to announce some of their stuff. Supposedly they're announcing 3 things. Somebody said they were all digital oriented, which is kind of weird to me. I guess one of them is going to be their new. They've got a new digital Marvel thing going on. Like they got some new app, maybe, or just a new way to.
They got 2 apps already.
Really?
The AR app and the book reader app. That's pretty sick, but
yeah,
still gotta buy them that way.
Yeah, and the other 2 things are going to be the teasers we talked about before. The big number 1 made up of all the writers and creators' names, and then the other one with the 52 like Wolverine slash marks. Those are both going to be announced at South by Southwest. So Marvel's really trying to hit the hipster crowd right now, I guess.
Yeah, then comes with a free scarf.
Yeah. And really. And I think they're going to announce it at like the Nerdcore stage too. It's like MC Frontalot, MC Lars.
Really?
Yeah, there's going to be like a half dozen. Maybe not quite a half dozen, but a handful of nerdcore artists. They're going to have like a nerdcore stage. Well, not really stage. If you don't know what South by Southwest is, it's like a big music festival, but it's not your typical music festival where you go to like a big open lawn auditorium.
You go to like a barbecue joint and watch like a gigantic band play.
Yeah, it's like all these little bars and shops and restaurants, places all over Austin, Texas, and everyone's got different bands playing. So you've really got to kind of encourage you to like to bounce around through the city and check everything out. And so it's not like you can walk into one big place and go from one stage to the other. Like
I don't even think it's open to the public, is it? I think it's only like industry people allowed there.
In South by Southwest?
Yeah.
some stuff is industry only.
Oh, okay.
But you can get tickets and go, or at least you were able to. I don't know if they've changed it, but there's definitely some stuff there. It's like any other big, like Hollywood thing. Like there are industry parties, and
And Austin is where the Quack Like a Duck guy is from. If you've seen that video on YouTube,
I have, and I hope that guy's on stage somewhere to set this up with.
He's called Goat. It's called Goat, and everybody thought it was like greatest of all time because the band was called Goat and Your Mom. But Goat means God of all Texas.
Wow, that's even better.
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
And he has the same outfit with the Texas flag Speedo.
Nice.
Where he shakes his junk, and that's pretty much his whole MO for his whole set. But
that's all right.
Check him out if you're in Austin.
Yeah.
God of all Texas.
I hope that he has at least a short spot in official South by Southwest stuff, because I'm sure, like,
I hope he's on the goddamn Tonight Show soon.
Yes,
that guy's hilarious.
Like, I have friends that go every year, and friends that play and that stuff, and they all say it's a blast. It's something you should definitely check out. And there's also, you can imagine, with all these bands, up and coming bands, and industry people all over the city of Austin that whole week or whatever weekend. There's all these impromptu shows that pop up all the time. Like, you can just walk into some place and this,
I'm sure Modest Yahoo will be there somewhere.
Yes. You see him now? He shaved all his shit off.
It's like Jason Lee.
Yeah, it's really weird. But I'm sure you can go see the Black Keys play at a bagel shop or something.
Take that, Orthodox Judaism.
Yeah. Speaking of, I have a nice hat over there. So we'll, have to keep an eye out on that, what they're going to do, because a lot of people are like, oh, they're taking stabs at the New 52. We think it might be, you said earlier, you think it might be a weekly book, possibly. Like
a weekly Wolverine or something.
And there's also, it's been 52 years since Fantastic Four #1, and they're the first family of Marvel, and that's where Marvel really started, and modern Marvel really started.
There's so many things associated with 52. It's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Like, everybody is quickly associated with DC, but it is 52 weeks in a year. That's why I thought it was weekly something.
Yeah.
They could be entering the playing card business.
This is true.
Who knows?
So, I don't know. We'll see.
So many things.
Marvel's throwing out a lot of stuff out there, and then
4 Baker's dozens.
Oh, there you have it. What else do we have? Valiant has had their core titles for a while. They've got Exo Man of War, Archer and Armstrong, Harbinger, Shadowman, and what
else? Silent.
Yeah, Shadowman. And what am I missing? Bloodshot. And people were wondering because they put those out relatively quickly, at one after the other, and then they've introduced some other characters. Eternal Warrior's been around. Ninjak's been around. Eternal Warrior was in Archer and Armstrong, obviously. Ninjak was in Exo Man of War. But they haven't really announced any new titles yet. But also, in this week's Shadowman, Dr. Mirage appears, a female Dr. Mirage. She's like a paranormal investigator that has psychic powers and can make ghosts appear and stuff. And then the hardcore, however you want to say it.
Core.
I don't know. I've heard say core.
Dead body.
I know, but some people say it's corpse, and I was like, I say core.
Some people say Pischetti.
Tomatoes. That is the correct way to say it. Potato and tomato.
I believe it was Honey Boo Boo's mother that calls it sketty.
She is a scary, scary lady.
She lost 100 pounds. Down to 3, I think, but whatever.
Wow. But anyway, those guys are appearing in books. Dr. Mirage just appeared. Hardcore is going to be in Harbinger Wars. That starts here very shortly. And so the conjecture is that the next wave of books in the second year of Valiant would be Hardcore, Dr. Mirage, Eternal Warrior, and Ninjak. Which is fine.
Has Magnus Robot Fighter made an appearance yet?
Magnus, Solar, and Turok are all not owned by Valiant.
Oh.
They were all gold key properties that Valiant had, and then when they stopped being out, stopped producing stuff, they lost the rights to them. And the last I saw, Dark Horse was putting out all those books just a couple of years ago. You could buy all those, and they were kind of cool painted covers and stuff. But I don't know if Valiant's trying to get those back or not, because all that was past and future universe anyway. Solar wasn't, but he could bounce around wherever he wanted to. He was basically Dr. Manhattan. So I don't know if they're going to try to get it or not. I mean, it'd be kind of cool. I do like what they're doing so far, and I'm kind of scared that they're going to get too big. And it's going to be because I buy them all right now, and I really can't afford to buy a whole bunch more. But they're doing a really good job of keeping continuity and keeping the universe connected. They're really good books. And, right now when these other characters have appeared, it's been, very beneficial to the story. It's been interesting. So, but they all have enough history behind them and enough of a cool origin that they could definitely handle their own book, carry their own books. So we'll see.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. All right, what else we got? All right, we got a little bit of I don't know, a little bit of controversy maybe in a couple different ways. We've got I guess I could start with, we mentioned this before a couple times, the Orson Scott Card's Superman Adventures thing.
Uh-oh.
And that's been, people are freaking out about it. There's comic shops that are stepping up and boycotting. They're not going to carry the book. There's also been a couple comic shops that have popped up.
Chick-fil-A is going to include an issue with every chicken sandwich.
I would think so, yeah. But there's a couple comic shops that actually are doing fundraisers for it. I don't know why they'd have to fundraise.
A DC comic?
Yeah, or obviously well-off writer. But
shows you the state of the country.
Yeah. So there's been pros and cons for this guy. I made clear my stance on it. But Chris Sprouse, the guy who was tagged to do the art for his story, has backed out of the project, saying he wants no part of it. I don't even know if he really specified details, but it's pretty obvious. I mean, this could be really damaging to his career because it's blown up
if
pretty
did
big.
it.
Yeah. And so he's not. I mean, no part of it at all now. So he's done, and that leave. And then DC is not saying they're going to cancel it. They're just saying that they're putting it on hiatus until they can get another artist for it. So that means it will not be in the first print, because I guess he's come out in like small digital chunks, and then they put 3 or 4 digital chunks into one print issue.
This is free. This is free advice to DC. Mike Allred.
Yeah.
He's a Mormon already.
It's true.
I'm sure he'd be on board with that. And then Mike Allred Superman is pretty sweet.
I would like to see that.
Yeah. So there you go. You're welcome, DC. Mike Allred will draw you. Just tell him I told him it was a good idea.
When Mike Allred's house got broken into, did you see that? When they were in Arizona, I guess for a Comic-Con, Mike and Laura's house got broken into.
They steal juice?
All of their computers, all of her coloring stuff. She had all of her digital color swatches and all that. All that's gone. All of his contacts are gone. They left like art and other stuff. All they took was like.
Did they take the golden tablets?
No, they were hidden.
Oh. They buried them, right?
I would hope so.
Somewhere in North New York.
Yes. So yeah, he's missing a lot of stuff. Like there was a lot of stuff that was only on his hard drives. I don't know if he's losing any story stuff. There was something about maybe a Madman 3D thing he's doing.
Oh my god!
But I know a lot of her stuff, like her coloring tools, digital coloring tools, were lost. And they said pretty much I just took electronics, computers, monitors, stuff like that. So.
Find those sons of bitches.
Yeah,
I love Mike Allred's stuff.
I do too. He's a genius. And her coloring on his stuff is fantastic too.
There's nothing like it.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it. Nobody else comes any close to that shit.
And I don't get why some people hate it. Like,
I get why people hate it.
But the thing is, I mean, if it just, even though it's not
it's pop art.
Yeah, even though it's not your modern image style art. It's another thing we talked about in the Norm Brayfogle interview, and a lot of stuff like that about how like there was that image style in the '90s where Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane kind of influenced the industry, and that's a big thing, a big style now. And some people that are more stylized or old school art are really having problems.
Yeah,
succeeding in the industry. But Mike Allred's not
like Jerry Ordway.
Yeah, Mike Allred's doing well, but there are some people like Sean Sorenson doesn't like Mike Allred's art, and I don't think he reads up.
Yeah, I don't like Mike Allred.
Jesus, Sean's gonna kill us.
Just me.
But I mean, I guess I can see if it's not your favorite thing, if you're into that more super hyper realistic stylized stuff, but.
If you like a nice white zombie album cover,
yeah,
Mike Allred is the guy you want.
But I don't get how you can look at his stuff and not go, man, this guy has talent. And
I want it on my wall.
Yeah, there's some stuff of his, and plus the Madman uses a yo-yo. That's fucking awesome.
They need a Madman movie.
Yeah, I would like to see that. It would probably be Joseph Levitt.
It would tank.
It would be terrible. Yeah,
it would tank.
It would be awesome, but it would be terrible. Yeah. Like as far as
it'd be like Scott Pilgrim. Like Scott Pilgrim did poorly, but it's probably my favorite comic movie.
Yeah, every comic book person I know loves that movie, but it made like $7 in the theaters.
Yeah, made $18.50.
And I went twice. That's why.
Yeah. Put it out in the dollar theater.
So there you go. Chris Sprouse no longer on the book. The book's on and DC is saying hiatus until they get a new writer or a new artist. I'm sorry, but I don't.
It's Orson Scott Card though. He could just make it a goddamn novel if he wants to.
Yeah, I don't know. So maybe this is just off the table. Maybe they're just going to say they had problems finding an artist and it's done. It could be their way to get out of this without being too controversial. It's like, look, we couldn't find an artist willing to do it. Not our fault. Or we couldn't find one willing to do it in a time frame that we needed to put him in the book. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do.
Like Allred.
Yeah.
He's got plenty of time now. He lost everything apparently.
Yeah, that sucks.
That does suck.
Another leading into that, which you mentioned, Jerry Ordway just put out an essay talking about ageism in comics. How he's been around for a long time. He's been drawing a lot of the big books from DC, especially over the years.
Superman.
Superman was his big thing, and he's a great artist.
How long did he draw Superman? It was a long goddamn time, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't remember how long specifically, but it had been several years at least.
Yeah,
and several projects. I mean, the guy's been doing stuff forever. He's currently working in DC right now. He's doing he had a book come out this week. He did Human Bomb #4. I guess he did the whole Human Bomb miniseries. And those are good. They're just not selling very well. And I guess one of the reasons he might have gotten that book is because they're like Silver Age classic characters. And
Here, have fun with that.
Yeah. He goes into detail, and it's pretty good. A pretty good essay because he's not like straight calling anybody out or bitching. He's just talking about how younger artists and younger writers have a much better opportunity. And Norm talked about this too, how it just seems like if you've been around for a while, it's harder and harder to get in. They want younger artists with the newer styles, the image style kind of, art. And,
I don't understand why they don't just bring back like the Elseworlds types thing.
Yeah, we talked about that too. Like some of that stuff's awesome. That stuff sells.
At least half of that was better than the stuff they were putting out at the time.
And then you get to appease all the people that are mad that some of their favorite characters are gone or different now. You can do a lot with that. You can do, if you wanted to, you could do a couple of one-shots or a couple of miniseries of the original DC universe if you wanted and call it Elseworlds,
I'll read a Jim Starlin book crazy in an Elseworlds thing. That'd be crazy.
I mean, there's so much opportunity for them, and I think DC's dropping the ball. And DC's doing some things well, but they're really dropping the ball on other stuff, and I don't understand what they're doing here. Maybe they're listening a little bit, even though they won't admit they're listening, because they dropped the WTF certified off all those books. They're not even putting it on their books at all. Like they said, the Dan DiDio's explanation was, we don't need it. It did its job by getting the advertising out there. People are aware of it. Now we don't need it. So they're still going to have the gatefolds that open into the shocking whatever, and they're still going to have the issues are still how they were, but there's not going to be a big WTF stamp on it anymore. And I think, obviously, that came from the huge backlash that it had. Like,
maybe Mark Maron's going to sue him?
Yeah.
Mark Maron.
So, but Jerry's essay goes on talking about that and how, and there's an article, I believe it was on Comics Alliance, talking about the essay, and he's like, well, to be fair, they kind of point out that some of the stuff that some of these guys draw is kind of dated. But the thing is that's what editors are for, man. Like, don't draw Superman with the long hair and the curl and a hot collar. Like, you don't have to do that. You've got editors to
teach them how to draw skinny jeans.
You've got editors that can rein that kind of stuff in, man. Because you're not just handing them a story and saying draw it and just blindly putting it out to print. You've got some control over it. And to say that guys like Norm Breyfogle and Jerry Ordway and some of these classic artists don't have talent is ridiculous. These guys are still amazing. They're still putting out top-notch work. So I think they should have, and maybe it's because the younger readers don't have that knowledge of them, so they're not going to have that name recognition.
It's their stuff that's worth tons of money, too.
Yeah.
Not newer kids yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
There's a couple out there, but not many.
Yeah.
But, so go check out the article. I'll link it on our Facebook page later, so you can go read it by Jerry Ordway. It's really interesting. It doesn't come across as like a bitter, angry old man or full of venom or whatever. He's just kind of stating how it is. It's pretty interesting. Pretty good article.
Piss and vinegar.
Piss and vinegar. So I like the spike that happened on that. Nah. That reminds me of something you showed me earlier. All right, and the last little bit of
poor deaf girl.
The last little bit of news we have. I find this very interesting. We've talked about Kickstarter on the show a few times before, and there's a lot of good Kickstarters out there. I've Kickstarted 3 so far. I ended up not doing the Oh Yeah comics just because the levels that had the really cool extra stuff I wasn't going to be able to get in the stores were kind of out of my price range at the moment. And the ones that I could reach are stuff I'll be able to get on the shelf. So it's not like they needed my money to launch. They more than doubled. I think tripled their.
I can't
goal.
wait for that shit to come out.
It's going to be great. Like I'm not going to miss any of it. But I was like, I could save money for other Kickstarters that need it, or that I can get a little better bang for my buck. And I'm definitely going to buy I'm going to buy every issue when it comes out, for sure. But this is about another really successful Kickstarter called Sullivan's Sluggers, and it originally came out a good little while ago, I guess.
Last year.
Yeah, or kind of latest last year. But I think they were saying some of the people were supposed to start getting their Kickstart items in like September. And there are people that still haven't gotten them. And it's a cool looking book, man. It looks really good. The art's nice. It seems interesting. It's about a minor league baseball team that travels city to city playing, and they come to this one city, and bad shit starts to happen, like monsters and ghosts and demons, and like they're basically fighting like Cthulhian kind of monsters on the other team. They're fighting with like baseball bats and stuff, and one guy's got a katana, and it's kind of wacky looking, but it looks like a good book. And I don't remember what the original goal was, probably $6 or $10,000, something like that. And they ended up almost getting $100,000 for it, and which that's awesome. Good for them for getting that much money, and it was great because at every tier they had everything was really nice. Every reward level was really good, well worth the money. And when he started hitting goals, he started unlocking more stuff, adding more content, making bigger books. So it went from originally being, I believe, a soft cover to now it's an oversized hardcover with a slipcase and a embedded ribbon and some, I think, a fold out inside cover and a back page, which is like a 9-card baseball card sleeve. Like it's a cool book, man. It's ginormous. The final product ended up weighing like 3.5 pounds. So this is a huge, like coffee table size graphic novel, and you could get it for $35. Like that's the donation tier. It's $35 to get that. That's shipped in the U.S. But when he originally did it, he said he had such a huge success with it, but by adding all the extras and making the book so much bigger and heavier, it got to the point where the international shipping was going to be outrageous. He didn't figure in that a 3.5 pound object shipped internationally is going to be some stupid amount of money. I can't even imagine how much it is. I shipped an iPhone overseas and it cost me like $20, so I can't. Like a 3.5 pound hardcover book of the size of a coffee table book.
I've shouted towards the ocean and had to throw a nickel in. It's very pricey.
I'm thinking he's probably got to do $50 a pop or something for shipping, if not, if somewhere in that area, if not more. But you're thinking, man, if you got $100,000 came from this, you should have enough to cover it. Or sorry if you got to eat a little bit.
Especially since it was initially $6,000 that he was asking for.
Exactly. And so some people are like, but he should have planned better. But whatever. So he comes back with well, before that, there are people that a lot of people that donated originally had seen that, hey, this is going to be a Kickstarter exclusive. Here's a really good chance to get a book that's only available on Kickstarter. You've got an instant, hard-to-find book. That's why I was really disappointed that I missed the first one. And then afterwards, he said he was going to go sell it on his website and sell it to stores too. So a lot of people were upset about that they were told it was going to be Kickstarter exclusive, and it wasn't. And then people started being able to get the book off the website and getting them in stores and conventions, or at least conventions, I don't know about stores yet, before people received their Kickstarter book, which would have pissed me straight the fuck off right there. Like, if I kickstart your book, I better get my stuff before stores get it. That's one of the points, is I'm investing to get an early copy and get the bonuses I paid for, and then you distribute to your sellers, to your retailers. So a lot of people are mad about that. There's people that still haven't received their books yet, but you can get them on eBay and buy them at cons and stuff. But he decided to do another Kickstarter as a second chance Kickstarter, and it was only like 5 or 6 tiers. I think the first couple were a T-shirt and a PDF of it, other stuff like that. But then you had the $35 tier where you got the book, which is still a fantastic deal. And then there's a couple tiers above that were just retailer incentive tiers, where you can get 5 or 10 copies of the book for a couple $100 or whatever. So I was going to do it, and then I see that the goal is $1. So he basically wasn't even kickstarting anything. He was just like, give me money. And he said it was going to go to pay for the international stuff. and they was still going to charge. Oh, wow.
South by Southwest is going on right now.
Oh, is it?
So that's what that is.
So we're going to have a live update about that. Well,
Breaking news.
Breaking news. But anyway, the book is getting a lot of bad press now because of that. Because he's also, for this extra money that's supposedly going into paying for the international shipping, he said he's still going to have to charge international customers like $10 a pop, which is crazy because if you get a couple grand or a few grand, that should cover all international orders. He only did just under 3,000 individual Kickstart. You know, like 2,700. What did you say?
2,700, and they.
So 2,700 individual
6,
people.
6,000.
Yeah, he showed pictures of the process online, and he's got 6,000 books printed. 2,700 of them were for the people that kickstarted. And you're saying that $100,000 couldn't cover if half of those were international, which I'm sure they weren't. I'm sure nowhere near half were international. Then the $100,000 couldn't cover all that, and then now
Even all of them. If all of them were
international, yeah,
yeah, it doesn't matter.
yeah, and
It doesn't cost over $1,000 to send.
so it's So now
Unless you personally fly it there.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's gonna hand deliver it to your
Which
door.
if you bring a few with you, you just cut your costs in the third.
So people are mad, and then also there was a thing where the artist of the book, after being asked a bunch about it, came forward and said he really doesn't want to be associated with it anymore. The artist is James Stucco.
And the art is nice.
Yeah, it is. It's really nice. The writer of it is Mark Andrew Smith, and so James Stucco basically said he said something like, I'm trying to find it real quick. He said that basically he didn't want to be a part of it anymore. I've asked the writer to remove my name from any future Sullivan Sluggers related product. It's not a book that I feel good about endorsing. I prefer not to be associated with it any longer. So he made clear that he was not happy with it, but he didn't do any name calling or anything. But the writer, on the other hand, came up and just trashed him. And anytime it's been brought up on message boards or on Facebook or whatever, when people are going, "Hey, this isn't cool. Why is this stuff? Why are you going against everything you said? And why are people not getting their book, but you can go buy it off your website or get it at a con already?" And the writer's just being a dick. He's just like,
"This is my first time." Yeah, well,
and he's like,
be a dick.
Somebody said, "It's not that I want to air all this in the comment section, but I can't help but notice these issues aren't being addressed. As someone who champions the Kickstarter and self-published movements, I hope you understand why folks would want to have this conversation about accountability. But now you say it's not the same book. The focus really is the creation of more new and original comic book projects. The book is exactly as you said it would be by increasing the features as more backers pledge funds, and the focus was on printing and delivering the comic from what I read right here in Kickstarter." His response was, "This is my first time publishing and learning on the job. A private message to me would have been appropriate. This is not. You accuse me of a lot of things here, many of which are not true. I flagged your comments as spam and will ship your books to you next week and be done with you." Let me tell you something, buddy. That is not how you treat customers in the comic industry. This is a small enough industry. You don't treat people like that.
You do. In the pizza industry, yes, you do. You treat them like that.
Probably so.
I did last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, that being said.
Yeah. In a Kickstarter, these people are trusting you, giving you money on a project that they haven't even held in their hands yet, haven't seen a physical copy of, and you're going to treat them like that. That's fucking ridiculous.
Think of it like the Sistine Chapel, and like Michelangelo's turning around like, "What? Shut up! Yeah. It's going to take a while.
Yeah.
I want to make it bigger."
Yeah. I don't know. This left a bad taste in my mouth. The D is silent.
That's my fault.
So I was really thinking about jumping in on this second tier Kickstarter, second run Kickstarter, and getting this book for $35. But now I'm really hesitant. I don't know if I want to, unless the guy can.
Yeah.
I mean,
he advertises on the Pirate Bay, so that tells you where to get it.
yeah, he advertises on Pirate Bay.
Idiot.
So I don't know. It doesn't end until the 18th, so it's the day after MegaCon. So I'm going to wait till MegaCon, and if the money's still there, and maybe if this guy's come clean and done a little something to make up for things, I might do it. But if not, I'm sorry, I'm just going to keep the money. Not like the dude needs it. I just wanted the book, and that's a good deal for a giant book like that. I mean, you're looking at like if that was a Marvel or DC book, that's probably $75 or more.
Well, if it's a Marvel, it's 100. If it's DC, it's 75.
I mean, it's a beautiful book, and but just for anybody, and then there's some evidence that this guy's treated a previous artist that he's worked on like this too. I mean, and people were mad that none of the extra money was going to the current artist, to James Stocco. But he came forward and was like, look, I got paid for the work. I'm fine. I don't want any of the extra money. I got paid to do a job. I did the job. It's over with. So, it's not that. It's just if this guy's going to be this shady and such a bitch about stuff, like, don't treat people like that, dude. You cannot treat people like that when you're a small creator and expect to get anything back. Like, you might have made money on this one. Actually, I know you made money on this one. There's no way you didn't make a boatload of cash on this project.
I don't think we'll be hearing much for his work after this.
Probably not. I mean, because look, if he only kickstarted 2,700 of them, and say he gets another 200 or 300 on this extra second part one, 3,000 of the books are accounted for early. He's got 3,000 more to sell at probably. I would say he's probably going to not sell for less than $50.
Yeah.
So that's ridiculous. That's another $60,000. The guy making off a comic, off of one book. No, sorry. So I don't know. You can decide yourself what you want to do. I just thought I would let people out there know because I've seen a lot of it on Facebook about how there's a second chance for this Kickstarter. So maybe you ought to think about it before you invest your money and get the whole story. Comics Alliance has a story on it right now, and I mean, there's other stuff. It
is lengthy.
Yeah, it has the whole deal. You can read everything about it. It's a pretty good article, pictures and all.
What's the new terminology going to be? You can't really say it's a real page turner anymore.
Yeah.
It's a real index flicker.
Yeah, an index flicker is good. I think
it's a real index flicker.
It's a hell of a scroller.
It's a real thumber.
All right, so I think that about does it for our news for the week.
Not for our breaking news.
Oh, our breaking news! I forgot.
The giant number one with all the artists thing is Marvel is giving away 700 number ones on their digital platform for free.
Nice.
You have until the 12th to get them, apparently. So go.
Right now, they're probably slammed.
Yeah.
Their site is just
700. It's basically almost every single number one they've ever had. It looks like.
See, and that explains them a little better because I heard one of the little blurbs I heard that I don't know if it came from them or somebody else was
blurb.
Was that it was going to be their new app was going to be like
their app is very good.
Was like Spotify for comics.
There's more to that. They're launching Infinite Comics starting on July 9th, which is a digital comic every week, starting with Wolverine. Who called that shit?
Yes,
that was this guy.
Wow.
Called that. Bang. Jason Aaron and but it's to tie in with the movie. And then
so it's gonna be like an ongoing.
It's an imprint, kind of like a. It's called Infinite Comics, but it's gonna have different storylines.
Oh, so
it's not just
a best of kind of thing, or not best of, like a DC Comics Presents kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's kind of cool. At least you won't get sick of one dude for 52 weeks a year,
My wife does.
Maybe we need to give you different costumes and.
I can wear a wig.
Some catchphrases. 1 week you can say "bub,"
and I'm gonna tell you right now. I just saw this. It seriously pissed me off to no end.
I saw the Project Gamma. I saw that picture, but I knew nothing about it.
Okay, Project Gamma is an audio project for Marvel Comics that's gonna have like a soundtrack. Which was seriously, I was gonna start working on something like that. That's horse shit. Screw you, because you're gonna. I can do it better, but I'm saying that they're gonna have like.
Now is it purely like an audio book kind of thing?
It's a score. It's like a musical score for like different scenes and panels and stuff.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess, but it's because they have their goddamn digital reader. Yeah. Mine was gonna be about syncing it up with a book. Yeah. So whatever.
I don't know. There's still appeal for that. You can still do it.
God damn it.
You can do it.
No, yeah, I could do it. I mean, I'm not saying I can't do it better. But they're also going to have like a video show, a web show called Earth's Mightiest Show. Mm. So I'm sure that's going to be why they have that listed last here.
Yeah.
So that's your South by Southwest update.
There you go.
Thank you, Sean Sorenson. No, seriously. He posted it. Yeah. He posted it from Bleeding Cool. So
okay.
I'm still going to give it to Sean, not Bleeding Cool.
Yeah. All right, you ready for our books for the week?
God damn it. Yeah.
All right. I guess we can start with Avengers number 7. That was a good one.
Yeah, the white event.
Yeah.
It's not racist. The D is silent.
Yeah.
But the white event it's the new Universal, whatever, new universe.
Both, yeah. Jonathan Hickman and Dustin Weaver did this book. They're taken straight from New Universal, which took kind of from New Universe.
Yeah.
Did you read all the new Universal stuff?
I was in the new universe.
I have all.
I wasn't around. I wasn't reading comics when New Universal came out. I was reading. I have looked at the Warren Ellis new Universal stuff, but not enough because I was back in the day into the new universe.
I have almost all of it back there. Everything New Universe.
I think I had the NAM.
I have some of the NAM. I love the NAM.
That's good. that was a good. That was a great chunk of time in the 80s there. Long shot? No, never mind.
Well, this one it has. This very much takes from New Universal. I mean, they use the White Event, the Universe Superflow thing. The Cypher. The guy. It's
not a rapper.
No,
not the Cypher.
The new Adam guy that people at first thought might have been Adam Warlock, a new rebirth of Adam Warlock, kind of. Then they said it was going to be New Universe, Black Veil. He is Night Mask, and he straight up says Cypher, Justice, Starbrand, and Spitfire. So they're going straight for all the stuff that Warren Ellis did with New Universal.
On the end of it was sick.
Yeah.
It's a very good issue.
It made me go back and read the book again because I didn't notice. It
kind of harkens back to the beginning of the Civil War issues.
Yeah.
Where the New Mutants that blew up a school?
Yeah. Yeah, this so basically it's got they start doing the White Event stuff. They show some other universes in the Superflow, which I guess is kind of like the Bleed and the Authority stuff.
Superflow.
There you go. That's the first soundtrack to come out of the book.
God damn it! I swear to God, I've had a million ideas that have been taken from me.
Oh man,
I will not share them on here because some of them.
Somebody's gonna steal Baby Dick. I already know it.
No, that's gross. But no, actually, I'm starting to try to write that. So
good.
I'm on it. Just put it on Kickstarter and get $100,000 for it.
Do it, yeah.
And then never produce it.
Yeah, no, print it, but do like a 2-page.
I'll draw it
back.
Yeah, I'll draw it on a napkin. Here you go, chumps.
Do it.
Thanks for your $100,000.
So Avengers, they start. The book kind of kicks back and forth. It shows all these scenes from different people in this college, and then back to the scenes that happen in the Superflow with the other universes, and then the scenes with the Avengers in the control room or whatever with
the flow is just really good.
Yeah, the Night Mask is taking control of all the electronics. And Tony Stark's like
Dr. Maskattan.
Yeah, Tony Stark's like, I have no fucking idea how he's doing this. This is crazy, and they're trying to figure out what's going on, and all the classroom scenes are 4 hours ago, 3 hours ago, 2 hours ago. And it shows these just different scenes that are not connected. They're focusing on certain people in each one. You think, oh, these are going to be the people, that are maybe going to be affected by the White Event. Because in the New Universal, the White Event happens, and these certain people get these powers. One becomes Justice, one becomes this cop that gets shot in line of duty becomes Justice. This other guy becomes Starbrand. Another girl becomes Spitfire. It's all these people. It happens, and you think, oh, these people are going to become that. And then there's a big twist at the end, and it's not that at all. I don't want to ruin it because it's really good. But if you're getting annoyed with the standalone origin issues over the last 3 issues of Avengers, this is not it. This is back straight to the meat of the story and what's going on, and it's really, really good.
The White Event meat,
white meat, yes. The D is still
that whole their whole little wrap up page that's in there where they show the stuff in the background. Mm. That reminded me of, ever seen the Faith No More video for Strip Search?
Yes,
where it's like an Alfred Hitchcock story kind of thing. And then they just keep showing all this, there's a person tied up in the background. Oh, such a good I love Faith No More.
Speaking of Strip Search, I don't know if you heard about this, but a few years ago, this happened back in right outside of Louisville where we're from. There was a guy called into a McDonald's and said that he was a detective and convinced the manager to strip search the
I remember that.
Yeah, that happened. My friend's dad was the judge for that. And that was, that happened in the same county I went to high school in, which is the county next to Louisville, and it was huge in there,
That explains why you're such a creep.
Totally. I was the one that called in.
Yeah.
But I was flipping through Netflix the other day, and there's a new movie called Compliance, which is that. They made a movie about it. And it's
they made a movie. That movie Badass with Danny Trejo is about that video on YouTube, the old man punching the shit out of that guy on the bus.
Oh, yeah?
That's what the whole movie Badass is about.
That's awesome. Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're great. They're making 2-hour movies based off of 40-second clips.
Yes.
Which is kind of what MacGruber was.
I'm okay with that.
Oh, yeah. MacGruber was great. Cunt.
All right, so Avengers 7 was awesome. Check it out. It had nothing to do with the last thing we talked about, but still, it was a really good book. I like how this book's going. This and New Avengers are going to go hand in hand. I really like it. And
if you're ever in Kentucky, don't do what you're told over the phone.
No. Don't do what you're told in Kentucky at all. Really. Yeah. It's probably a bad idea. All right, what do you want to do? You want to do Adventure Time? I didn't read this, but you can have it.
Adventure Time was great. This is Fiona and Cake's Adventure Time number 3 with Fiona and Cake.
Natasha Allegri is the writer.
I don't know if she's related to Dante.
Yes, she is. Distantly.
But no, it's the Fiona and Cake stuff. I mean, anyone that reads Adventure Time knows what I'm talking about. But apparently, they're much more violent than Finn and Jake. They just behead a shitload of people in this one.
That's pretty awesome.
And and I'll just say paste face and move on. And you'll have to read it.
Oh, well, I want to read it.
I'm not spoiling it. It's great.
I want to read the book. I love the show.
It's presented totally different. Like the book is like the book almost is. It's going to sound almost as an offensive comparison, but the book is kind of presented like Saga. Like how it's not word balloons and shit like that. Like it's not like traditionally like laid out like a comic. But
the narration just
that's where the comparison ends.
Like some of the narration in Saga where it's just printed in the panel, not in a text box.
Yeah. But it's still Adventure Time.
Well, I like the show. I haven't seen all the show. I just catch it here and there, and I love the show. It's hilarious. I need to go back and read the comics, too, and watch all the show.
Comics are great, and Adventure Time, Fiona and Cake, it's fantastic. It's probably my favorite book this week so far. But I didn't finish reading Dial H yet.
Oh, it's good. The end's so good. Oh, it's so good. We'll wait for that one, though. I guess, what do you want to do next? Did you read Earth 2?
No.
I'll do Earth 2 real quick then. Earth 2 by James Robinson and Nicole Scott. It's number 10. It's the Tower of Fate is what's happening. At the end of the last issue, they Flash and his mother and Khalid, who is basically the new avatar of Dr. Fate, got teleported into the...
Khalid Sheikh Mohammed?
No.
Okay, good.
That'll be a weird book.
I'm on team no to Khalid Sheikh Mohammed.
So they get teleported by Wotan into, or Wotan, or however you say his name. Wotan clan. Teleported into, like...
Wotan ain't nothing to fuck with.
He is not. He's a badass. He get teleported in this other realm that has the Tower of Fate, and that's where that Khalid was the new avatar of Dr. Fate, but every time he put it on, Nebu kind of tried to take over, and he got all the memories and stuff, and he didn't like it, so every time he'd take off the helmet, he would have these bouts of craziness. And he could still use some of the power and stuff, not a lot, but a little bit. But he had these bouts of craziness, so he used the power to put the helmet somewhere where it could never be reached. Even though Wotan teleports him into the realm and teleports him directly into the tower where it's at. I guess it can be reached. And they makes Flash go along. It makes Flash go along with him because Flash's powers are magical in nature. And he's got Flash's mother hostage to make him do it. And so a lot of it is just leading up to that. Showing them how he got the helmet and then how they're going into the Tower of Fate to try to find the helmet, and it's all MC Escher like.
How do they present Flash's mother? Is it like an Aunt May old lady type?
No, she's just like probably 40s, like maybe 50, like just some chick.
Flash, come here.
Yeah, it's just
put a sweater on. It's cold outside.
Yeah, and she's like super bitchy, like she just had this giant floating green wizard teleport her and her super speedster son into a magical realm and explain to them what the Helmet of Fate was and what was going on. She's like, not that I believe in any of this magic stuff. Bitch, what do you need to see to understand that this is real? So, and he ends up, kind of smacking Flash around a little bit to convince him to do it. And they jump in, and one of the names of the Tower of Fate is the Tower of the Beast, the Tower of Babel, all this stuff. It's supposed to be like where all the god power is held. So they go in, and there's all weird shit in there, and they, so it's just the first part of the story. So they're basically just supposedly going to get the Helmet of Fate for Wotan, but obviously that's not going to happen. They're going to keep it for themselves. But I also saw in a solicit for, I guess, May or June, that they are bringing back Commander Steel. So Steel is another Detroit Justice League character is coming back, but in a different world. I like Steel. He's going to be awesome.
Like Shaq?
No. Like the guy that has like the metal armor, like skin-tight metal armor all over his
Wouldn't it Metal Superman?
No.
Is that a different Steel?
Yeah.
Well, moving on.
Yeah. So it was a good book. I like this book. The art's great. Jade Robinson is a fantastic writer. That guy. So they, I like the pacing it's going. I like that they're introducing new characters and stuff, and they're not afraid to, supposedly in the next couple issues, a lot more of characters you haven't seen before are going to be out, and plus they're going to bring a new version of Batman into the Earth too. Also,
why not?
Yeah, why not? So there's a lot going on with this book. I really like it, and I'm going to keep reading it. It's one of my favorite DC books. I'm slowly starting to lose interest in a couple of the other ones. So
Damian Wayne's ghost will be in it.
Yes,
superior Batman.
That would be hilarious.
Good God.
So I'm going to keep reading this book, and I'm getting to the point where I'm buying less and less DC stuff. I still like some other stuff, but my pull list of DC is getting a little thin. Which I guess for money is great because my image pull list keeps getting bigger and bigger every month. I don't know. But
you tell me your pull list is getting thin, I'm going to tell you have to go to the doctor.
Doctor, the D is silent.
The D is the doctor.
All right.
Turn up the volume on my D.
Did you read all New X-Men?
No, I don't. I don't have that kind of cash.
Let's see.
I don't have the $30 in the past month to read all New X-Men. Is that about right?
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. So there you go. 2 months. It costs $30 to read X-Men.
Well, I'll do a quick one of that. It's this continuation of what's been going on. They're just kind of adjusting. This one is about Angel, old Angel and new Angel. The old Angel is, was one of the ones that wanted to go back in time. He didn't want to stay in the present, and he's kind of overwhelmed. And he meets his future self, who is kind of crazy, thinks he's really an angel, Warren Worthington, who with metal wings, but he's not blue anymore. Like, it's weird. And so they're just flying around, and the old Angel's like, "Dude, what's going on? I have no explain to me." And he's just being real cryptic and like half retarded, because he just talks like a child almost, and he's just weird. And then while they're flying around,
it's like of Mice and Men.
Yeah, kind of. I want to pet her.
I want to pet Apocalypse.
So they're flying around. He's trying to get some stuff out of him, and they see over in the distance, they see where Avengers Tower is. They see an explosion, so they fly over there. And it's Hydra, or AIM, I think, is a bunch of AIM people are there just trying to blow up the Avengers Mansion. And so the Angels start fighting them off. And the young past Angel is kind of freaked out, like, "I don't know what's going on. It's crazy. We're going to get killed." And he's like, "I won't let you get killed. If you get killed, I cease to exist. So we can't let that happen, And so they start fighting all these AIM guys, and they're like, "The Avengers aren't even here. Nobody's coming out. You're attacking an empty Avengers Mansion. You guys suck." Like, and then so right in the middle of that, the Avengers actually show up and just crush this AIM group. And so then they're talking. They're like, "Hey, thanks, Angel, for protecting." And they're like, "Wait a minute. There's two of you. What's going on?" So this is where the Avengers find out that the X-Men is back from the past into the present. So Captain America takes the little Quinjet, and they fly over to or whatever it's called now, fly over to the X-Men's mansion, and they have a little talk. Captain America and Beast have a little talk, and all the other guys are sitting way out to the side trying to figure out what they're saying, but they can't get close enough. So you have a little scene that's funny where Iceman and Kitty Pryde are acting out what each one's saying in a ridiculous manner. And he's like, "I'm from the 40s where women didn't bare their arms, and we don't have this kind of stuff." And it was pretty awesome.
Professor X rolls up and he's like, "It's your children, Bobby."
Oh my God!
So, future.
So they basically go and they, the young Scott Summers walks up, tells Cap, "Hey, just give me a chance." And so Cap's like, "All right, keep me in the loop." And then Angel, the past Angel, is freaking out. Like, he doesn't want to be here anymore. He's crazy, and he's having a freak out and tries to go activate the time travel device again. And they go stop him, and he's losing his shit, saying he didn't want to be a part of the X-Men anymore. He didn't want to be near him. He wants to go back to the past and not even be a part of the X-Men then. Crying, he's freaking out. And then all of a sudden, he just, has a weird look on his face. He's like, "What's for lunch?" And they're like, "What?" He's like, "How's it going, everybody? It's a nice day. I'm kind of hungry."
"Hey, how are you?"
And then you look over, you see Jean Grey, and she's like, "I fixed it." You're like, "You can't just get people's heads." She's like, "I fixed it. Don't worry about it. I've got this. We're in control." And then just walks off. So it's like, they make Jean Grey kind of look like kind of not so much morals as she should have when you have crazy telepathic powers, maybe. So you go mind wipe.
I wouldn't have. I would lose my shit. I'd probably, yeah. That'd probably be the worst superpower for me to have.
I could see
I would lose my damn mind. I'd probably be flipping out on people, and they'd be like, whoa, I heard that. What?
Do you want to do Hellheim number 1?
Oh, yeah, Hellheim. The Cullen, what is his name?
Cullen Bunn and Joelle Jones.
Which is probably the funnest person's name I've ever heard. Cullen Bunn.
What about famous racer Dick Trickle?
Oh, Dick Trickle is, yeah. I had a kid that came into, when I was a long time ago when I worked at Domino's, he came in and he's like, had a Dick Trickle shirt on, and I thought for a second, I don't think I'd let my kid wear a shirt that said Dick Trickle on it. And I thought, I'm going to be a good father.
And then you went and bought one of those shirts.
yeah, for me. But no, the Hellheim, I'm trying to find it in here. It's like I said, it was the Cullen Bunn book. The guy did, was it Six Gun?
Six Gun, yeah.
Yeah. And the upcoming Ultimate Wolverine.
And Six Gun, Sons of the Gun.
And Six Gun something else. And the TV show. Yeah, he's a pretty busy guy. But the book throws you for a loop pretty hard. Well, it did for me at least. Because you start out seeing they're like running from something. These like, it's like a Dark Ages kind of a situation. And so you got like swords and shit. So that's fun. So it's like a game. It's like a Game of Thrones-y kind of era, and they're like running from something. And so you just get introduced to this big hero-looking guy, like a Thor-looking hero, Viking, whatever you want to call him. And by the end of it, he gets freaking killed. Spoiler alert! Mm-hmm. And you're like, whoa! So all that's left is like his wife and an old guy, and like some little fucking sidekick kind of a guy. So they're like, holy shit. Well, turns out, spoiler again, the wife, the dad didn't trust the wife, and they barely touched on that. Like, they did a very good job. Like, the writing is really good. And the wife is like some, I don't know if she's like magical or whatever, but then you see the dead guy in this giant like zombie body. So that's on the cover. That's the guy that's on the cover.
Yeah.
I didn't really put that together. Maybe I'm stupid. That could be the case.
Thought that was a bad guy. It turns out it is the good guy just later on.
He's the good bad guy. I don't know what the hell's going on. So it's going to be pretty good, I think.
I'm going to check it out.
It's fun.
You bought the last issue, so I couldn't get a copy.
I'll bring it next time.
Well, I just bought one on eBay. So I just bought. Huh?
Then I won't.
Okay. I've got the Phantom variant coming. Because it's awesome. I really didn't care. That was the only one available.
That's my finishing move.
Yeah, the
Phantom variant.
Just a glimpse.
Oh God.
So I'm going to check that book out. I like the Six Gun. I like Cullen Bunn stuff. And
I've never read Six Gun, but
it's awesome, dude. You should read it.
Sebastian seems to love it.
Yeah, it's very good. Even if Sebastian likes it, it's still very good.
I'm a huge fan of Sebastian. I'm on Team Sebastian. I don't care. I think he's hilarious.
I love Sebastian too. You just want to pet him sometimes. Calm down, Sebastian. Just relax.
He's one of my favorite NPCs. That's what I call people in my life that I'm not. It's my non-playable characters.
All right. What are we going to do next? You want to do?
We might as well do Dial H next, because you said the glimpse.
Yeah.
Which, in apparently our collective opinion, is the greatest so far.
Oh, he's awesome.
The glimpse is the best of the Dial H.
There's a lot of good ones though. There's other ones that you just see for like a
second. Flame War
is awesome. Pelican Army was amazing.
The glimpse is hilarious. Yes. You just see a leg,
an arm.
It's so funny.
I don't know a whole lot of people reading this book. All the ones I know reading it like it. I think it's great. It's very weird. It's very much a Vertigo book in the regular DC universe.
Is this a rehash? Like, was this something before, or is this brand new? Dial H? Because I thought somebody said something about
it's been a book for years.
Really?
It was a book in the 60s. And
I never heard of it.
Really?
I also didn't live in the 60s.
Yes.
There's
in
that.
The 60s and 70s, it was basically it was these kids that had this dial, and they would dial up these superpowers just like this, and they would become like these really cheesy characters. And DC had this totally awesome idea. They're like, hey kids, write in and tell us your best ideas for characters, and we'll use them in the book.
That is a great idea.
So people just like would write in their characters, and you would get the most inane, crazy, and some of them were really cool, but just these crazy characters. And then they redid this book just a few years ago, I guess back in maybe 6-7 years ago, and it was just called Hero and had the little dial on it. And that book, I think it lasted 2 years, 20, 25 issues. That book was fantastic. There might have even been another version of it at some point. It's been around forever and ever and ever, just in various kind of forms. And so this is the newest version of it, which kind of combines the most recent before this with the original, because you've got these weird, campy, out-of-nowhere characters, along with the kind of darker
Magneto
story behind the the dials that's going on in this book, like where the dials come from, how they work. They've been around since, like the Zero issue was awesome because they had like a sundial version of it that they had to turn like every...
The issue 0 one?
Yeah, that was good.
That was hilarious.
But, it's been around for a long time. There's a million characters that were in that book.
Oh, my God. I'm looking at the Wikipedia of the list of characters from the old one.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I mean,
who's it, what's it, and how's it?
Yes. When was the book? When's the show coming out?
It's been all over. It was in the 80s. It was in the 60s.
Yeah, another one that came out just...
Plastic Man, I think, is one of the people that came out of it in the 60s. But it was like House of Mystery is when it started.
Yeah. It was a great book. It was great stuff. And it was one of those ones where every story was pretty much self-contained. You could just pick one up and read it about a crazy hero that some reader created, Not all of them were reader created, but a lot of them were. And you're like, man, somebody made that. So DC just had a built-in scheme going on where people were like, oh, I could have somebody in the comics and never get paid for it or get credit for it. And so
there's like an issue in 2000 that somebody gave the dial to the Justice League.
Yeah.
And the Justice League transformed into weird people. Like Batman became Minuteman, Flash became Marionette. Oh my God.
I've got that run if you want to read it. It's good. It's a great book, and I'm glad. That's why I was really excited when they brought this back out. I didn't know how it was going to work, with the New 52, and it's definitely not working how I thought it would. It's a weird book. It's
Circumference.
Might as well call him Girth.
A superhero with a spherical head and fingerless spheres for hands. That's great. I'm sorry.
You got to read all this stuff. It's so good. But in the current book, you got two people.
Zeep the Living Sponge.
You got a guy that finds a dial on a phone, on like a phone booth, and his buddy's getting attacked, and so he's trying to dial for help, and he accidentally dials Hero on his dial, and he becomes this wacky hero.
Vibro the Quakemaster.
Yes.
This list of superheroes reads like the list of Old Dirty Bastard aliases.
It pretty much is. I think he got.
Oh my God.
So this guy finds a dial, finds out he gets all these powers from it. But when he becomes these characters, he kind of gets drawn into them and almost forgets who he is. But it's only temporary. He eventually turned back. And
you have to work on maintaining who you are.
Yeah. And then he finds somebody else throughout the first few issues that has a dial also. And then one of their dials gets destroyed, so they're sharing a dial. They team up. And it turns out there's lots of people that know about these dials, and there's a cult that worships these dials, and and there's all this crazy stuff, and they don't know where the dials came from, and they're finding people that knew how to work on them, and they've got some dials that work okay, a dial that works okay, but not really well. And this new issue, they go up against somebody else that has a dial. He's like a soldier that was about half brain dead. He's not all the way there, and he dials into the Bristol
Bloodhound.
With a Bristol Bloodhound. It's awesome.
Funny when he dialed side.
Yeah,
that's what it was. He dialed side, so he became a sidekick.
So now
the Glimpse's sidekick.
So now, and they don't tell you why at first. They just this guy you think he's going to fight the hero of the book, who's the glimpse. You can only see just a glimpse of a foot going off the handle, or a corner of an elbow, or whatever, And he's fighting, and the people are trying to give the guy orders to fight the glimpse, and he's just not listening. But whenever the glimpse gives him orders, he takes them, and they're like, I don't know how this happened. So it turns out they find out the guy's dialing, they get him away from everything. So it's a sidekick dial. There's a hero dial and a sidekick dial. And in the sidekick dial, when you dial up, you become the sidekick, but you really can't control yourself, but you're not really a decision maker. You're waiting for the hero to kind of tell you what to do. And it's not like a blind loyalty. You just are eager to play Robin. You're eager to do the old Robin, not shitty Damian Wayne. You're eager to do what Batman tells you to do.
Damian Wayne. Damian Wayans.
Damian Wayans.
I don't know if it's brilliant or offensive that they use a soldier for sidekick, since a soldier you're supposed to just shut up and follow orders.
Yeah. Well, they say it too. They said you can't make an army full of generals. You know, you've got to have people that give orders and people that follow orders. And the guy even says, like, I can still make decisions. He goes, I just feel like I want to do what you tell me to do. Like, I want to, like, what you're saying is making sense. So, which is kind of offensive still. But yeah. But I like this book a lot. Some of the art's a little weird.
I like how hideously ugly he is.
Yeah, they make him rough.
The giant beast, fat, ugly guy. I really hope that there's some weird, like, love story that comes out of this with the old lady.
You need to finish the issue.
Okay, good.
You really need to finish the issue.
It felt like it was coming.
There's definitely something there. So, that's like the last 2 pages is like some stuff happens. I will tell you what, because it's not like a straightforward.
It's like it's like Future Biff falling in love with like Aunt May, and that works out really.
And
well.
the guy, of course, he's like this big fat like ugly slob with like no motivation. This is the only time he's ever had motivation to do anything is when he's gotten this dial now. Now he's really excited, and so he
can't feel it. That's why I might identify with this book so well.
But he's also so excited whenever he turns into these heroes. You know, part of it is you kind of get lost in the persona of the hero, but part of it is like he's really happy to be like powerful and strong and fit, and like he's not his slobbish, couch dwelling self anymore. And
he kind of looks like Brian Knobs, the nasty boy with a haircut.
Oh God!
Just like a trim, not even a good haircut. Yeah. Just this like a nice, like he had to go to when he had to go to probably Owen Hart's funeral. Like, that's probably what he looks like there.
Imagine if you were just a DH Dusty Rhodes about 20 years. You would have
Dustin Rhodes?
Yeah. Well, but still with Dusty's sloppy body.
Yeah. Dusty's sloppy body was my old punk band. Our song, Gold Dust Woman.
I hope you only play Gold Dust Woman only, all the time.
Did you ever see? Never mind.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a tangent.
We are going to... Actually, we're talking about doing a side project, pop culture podcast occasionally. Just get on here and just our tangent show. Just talk about weird shit we like. So we're probably going to do that. So if you like that, let us know. Because I think we're going to... even if you don't like that, we're still going to fucking do it. You don't have to listen to it.
There was a great Dustin Rhodes time where he broke character hard on, like, Raw. He came down and he was like this, like, specter looking like this fully white cowboy. Like, he looked like a dead cowboy.
Wow.
And he's just like, you know what? Screw this. He just like walked off. It was hilarious.
Did you know who Gold Dust is, Kirsty?
It's Dustin Rhodes.
It's Dusty Rhodes' son, and I guess he didn't want to follow straight in the footsteps, or they didn't want him to, of his dad, so they made him... Well, he was Dustin Rhodes... I don't remember if he was Dustin Rhodes first, or if he was Gold Dust first.
I think it was Gold Dust first, and I think it was Dustin Rhodes.
Gold Dust was a guy that came out in borderline drag. He wore feather boas and
like
gold,
a Lady Gaga wig.
Yeah, like a wig and gold paint with glitter.
He's the Daniel Day-Lewis of professional wrestling.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and he
was method.
He was very method. So if you like weird shit,
Dial H for Dustin Rhodes.
Yes, Dial H. So if you like weird books and you like something a little different, I'm assuming they're going to start crossing this over a little bit at some point.
I hope not.
Because it's a new 52 book. There's some point they're going to.
I don't care.
I'm fine if they don't.
It could be like they could be like their Hawkeye, where it's just well, how is this happening?
I'm totally fine if they don't, or if they do, just do something another weird book.
If they cross over with anything, I hope it's Batman. They killed Damian Wayne, and spoiler. And then, and so they can have him dialing up sidekicks for Batman.
That would be awesome.
That would be sick.
I mean, that's basically what they're going to do. I don't know if we talked about that. That's basically what they're going to do with Batman and Robin for the next 6 months. It's not Batman and Robin.
They're going to dial H for parents.
Dial O for orphan.
Oh.
But in Batman and Robin, the next 6 months, it's going to be like Batman and Nightwing, Batman and Red Hood, Batman and Red Robin, Batman and Catwoman, and I don't remember who else.
It really sounds like it's Death of a Family then, huh?
No, not so much. But it's supposed to be, I think there's 5 of them, and it's supposed to be the 5 stages of grief. So if you do them in order, I guess you're going to see exactly how he treats each one.
Oh, my God.
I don't know. Oh, wow. I hear a shark in the waters. Are we going to jump in any time soon?
What? what stage of grief allows you to become Batman? Because he pretty much stopped grieving when he was like 19 or whatever the hell he was.
I don't know. All right, so we've done
Whatevs.
We've done Avengers. We've done all new X-Men. I've done Dial H. We did Earth 2. You did Hellheim. Did you read Green Arrow?
No, I haven't even caught up on the TV show. I'm behind.
Well, quickly on Green Arrow, it's the second issue of the new way they're going with the Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino, and it's really going hand in hand with the show now. Like, it's really close.
Is that good or bad?
I like it.
I like the show.
Yeah, I like the show. So
I don't think the show. The odd thing about the separation of everything is, I don't think the show would make a good comic. I wouldn't read the show.
Well, it's enough going hand in hand with the show where it's like he doesn't have his fortune right now. He spent time on the island. They talk about that, but he doesn't have his fortune. He's on his own. His dad has some kind of secret they're keeping that is kept from him. One of his it turns out that there's a bad guy who his name is Komodo, but he wears like kind of a dark version of him with a weird mask and has a
that's the Dark Arrow guy.
Yeah, he's the Dark Arrow and
the Komodo dragon, pretty much.
And he also is like he owns a different company that's about to do a hostile takeover of Q-Core and all that of whatever.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, sorry. Read the book. And he is like, it turns out he knew Oliver Queen's dad. Like, Oliver Queen found a picture of his dad and this guy and somebody else that he doesn't know, even though the guy's in the book. He just can't tell it's the same guy. I don't know, it's weird. But he's on the run and he's, I don't know, it's just, and they talk about the island a lot. And there's a picture of his dad and this bad guy and this other guy on the island. And he's like, I recognize that anywhere. I spent like
Is there a polar bear there?
Oh, there's two in a fight, to be honest. But
to go back to the island.
It's good. I like it a lot. It's and it's basically he gets his butt kicked by the Komodo in the last issue, and this guy saves him. I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head.
Reggie.
Yes, and his power is the full effect. But he's still trying to go up against this guy. He breaks into Queen Industries and tries to go up against him, but the other guy pops up and is like, you aren't ready yet. You need to go somewhere else and learn a little more before you can do it. So there's a little more like the intrigue of like the show is. I think it's close enough to the show. You can obviously see what's alike with the show, but they're still different enough. And it's already connecting in with JLA because Steve Trevor calls him and goes, "What are you doing, dude?" Like, because he's framed for murder now and all this stuff. He's like, "What are you doing?" Bro,
you can't be killing people, bro.
And it's like, I can't help you I can't save you from this. He's like, just keep the police off me for a couple days, man. Dude.
Gotta go in the sewers. Everybody knows that.
But I like it. The art's good. And they have little cutaway scenes where it's like black and white with little splashes of color. And it's an interesting book. I like it.
We can knock Snapshot out pretty quick.
Yeah, Snapshot.
Snapshot. Diggle and Jock.
Jock and Diggle. It's Iggle, D silent.
No, it's D Jock. D silent.
Wow.
So yeah, this just reads like a movie.
Yeah.
Like a decent movie.
I don't like it as much as the first issue. I guess because part of the first issue I liked was the fact that you really didn't know what the hell was going on and you were trying to figure it all out. The second issue, they kind of explain what's up. For the most part.
Is it Bendis that used to do like the crime?
Yeah, he did Torso and
Fire
and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like to me. Mm-hmm. Which was good stuff, but we'll see where it's going, but we'll see. But this was continuing the same story as the first one. Nothing really overwhelmingly special. A little more action. A lot of death.
Yeah, explains why. Yeah, a little bit why that you think the guy's dead, but he's not. Goes into that. A lot of action scenes in there.
Now he's dead.
But now he's dead, yeah. A lot of action scenes. A chase scene. It's pretty good. Like I like the fact that like this guy, Jock, can do like really nice action scenes with no explanation. It reads really fast.
The car flipping.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah, what did we say? It read like a Colin Farrell movie.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's pretty good. I mean, it's only 4 issues. Halfway through already. I'll stick with it. I like it. Just to, at least to see the whole story. I mean, like I said, if it was an ongoing, I think I wanted it to be a little different if it was ongoing. But I don't think I'd really be with this all the time.
No.
But so far it's good, and I'm glad they stuck with 4 issues. Get it over with. There's a story. Do you want to do sex?
Well, I mean, should we probably stop recording first?
Not at all.
Listen to this, kids. Oh, deaf girl.
Why does it sound like you dropped two water beds on top of each other?
Oh my god. It sounds like they're practicing their sword fighting with a bunch of meat. They're swinging meat at each other.
So that's what someone splashing in the gravy sounds like.
Yeah, it's like a boot stuck in mud.
So Sex Number 1 by Joe Casey and Peter Kowalski?
Oh, that's your handwriting.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It was a legit better comic than I was expecting.
Yeah, I grabbed it. I was like, it's getting a lot of hype in Emerald City, and I'll check it out.
It's going to sell out.
$3 book, and if it sucks, I'll eBay it and make some money off of it. Make $10 off of it, it'd be fine. And I read it; it was okay. It's weird.
I want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
So that's got to mean something.
There's no naked titties until about halfway through.
And they're pretty much there the rest of it.
Yeah. Then so it is from about midpoint on. There are titties on about every page. Right? I'd say every page.
And as they say in the Grey's Anatomy universe, the JJs.
The JJs. Yes.
It is graphic. It's
not as much. It's not like Faust or anything.
No. I've been on the internet for 20 years now. I've definitely seen worse.
Well, I'm saying as far as like a straight up on the shelf.
This isn't like a meat spin issue
Yeah.
or anything.
I mean, it's for like an on the shelf comic. It's relatively graphic, but it's not as bad as like Faust or I don't even think it's as bad as
Heavy Metal.
Yeah, or it's probably about maybe a little worse than Tarot. That's. Yeah, but it was pretty good. Interesting story. It's basically a guy. He's like a vigilante.
I don't know.
Like
all I know from this is he likes to watch ladies have sex and not do anything.
Well, he said his name was like Armored Saint. Which because I have a friend whose band is named Armored Saint.
I think I've heard of them.
And, so I guess he's back in this town. I don't know. I can't really tell you what else is going on. He's like it's a dude. He owns a business.
Oh, shit.
Oh, God. What time do you have to be at work?
5.
Oh, okay. Well, we should wrap this up in about 10 minutes then.
Oh, a little sooner.
All right. So, Shadowman number 5. Did you read that?
Nope.
Okay, quickly with that. It's really, really good. It is
Valiant.
Justin Jordan and Patrick Zurcher. This issue is the premiere of Dr. Barrage. And she is a paranormal researcher. She's interviewing some guy who's in jail, and he won't tell him where these girls are that he kidnapped and killed. So she summons the ghost of one of the dead girls, and only her and he can see it. So he starts freaking out, and she finds out where it is. But then Shadowman,
so it's Silence of the Lambs,
kind of, yeah. But then Shadowman is dealing with learning about his history, his family history, and the history of Shadowman. Then it also has Master Dark in.
Oh my god!
In the dark side part, and he actually meets up with Baron Samedi, the.
Master Dark is an excellent rap name.
There you go.
Oh my god.
This book's good. The writing's great. Justin Jordan's awesome. The art's really good. So check this out. I mean, it's a Valiant book, and there hasn't been a bad issue of a Valiant book yet. Colder number 5, that wrapped up. If you haven't been reading it, go check it out. You can pick up all 5 issues now. It's a really good horror story. Paul Tobin and Juan Ferreira. The art's fantastic. It's just a really weird, surreal horror book about fear and hallucinations, and it's kind of hard to describe. But go check it out.
Sounds more like a Wednesday book for me. Fear and hallucinations.
Yes. Animal Man and Swamp Thing 18 both came out. Animal Man's Jeff Lemire and Steve Pugh, and Swamp Thing, I forgot to write down who does it, but it's Scott Snyder, and I can't think of the artist right now. They wrap up the Rot World thing with the epilogue, and they bring a lot to a close. I'm really tired of the Rot World stuff. I'm glad it's over, and they're going a different direction now. So serious shit happens in Animal Man at the end. Somebody dies, so go read it. And in Swamp Thing,
Damian Wayne.
Yeah, Swamp Thing, a couple people die. And it kind of definitely points in a whole new direction of the book, which is kind of what the old Vertigo book was. I think it's going more the old style. Hypernaturals number 9. This book is fantastic. It's Abnett and Lanning and Andres Gonaldo, I think. I don't know. I can't even read my own writing. It's an awesome book. It's like a Legion of Superheroes, super science, superhero in the future. And this book gets better and better every issue. And they said it's a pretty good jumping on point, which I guess it is, but it's only 9 issues in, so just go get the first trade and like catch up on it. I like this book a whole lot. It's one of my favorite books on the shelf right now. And I guess that's about it.
Yeah, that's all of them.
That's all. Be sure to check out InvestComics.com this week for the hot picks. They have the hot picks are kind of their weekly article that tells you some books you might want to check out, some upcoming issues that might be hot, so you might want to read that. And if you're already reading them or already interested in them, some of the older issues you can go pick up that might have first appearances or early appearances of those characters. This one goes into some Batman stuff, new and old, some Ultimate Wolverine, and
it's ultimately mostly number ones that are coming out this week.
Aliens vs. Parker, Sledgehammer 44.
That's Mike Mignola or whatever.
Yeah, so all kinds of stuff.
Trigger Girl 6.
And they have some news at the top. They talk about their new web show, which is The Broker and the Artist. And they got a con survival guide, which you can use if you're going to MegaCon this coming weekend, the 15th, 16th, and 17th. We will be there. We're not going to have a booth or anything, but you'll see us walking around. I know I'll be there the whole weekend. My wife, Kirsty, will be there the whole weekend. Sean Sorenson will be there. More than likely, mostly working the Famous Faces and Funnies booth. They will have a booth there with tons of great graphic novels and trades and some toys, lots of good stuff, and they give really good deals, so go pick up some good books for cheap. And we'll be passing out our cards, so you can find out every way to get a hold of us. So it's Breaking the Fourth Wall on YouTube. You can look up InvestComics on YouTube and find us. You can go to InvestComics.com. You can contact us, The Real BT4W on Twitter, and Facebook.com/TheRealBT4W and TheRealBT4W@gmail.com to email us. So get a hold of us, and maybe we'll see you at the con. And we're going to be checking out the.
We'll see you at the movies.
See you at the movies. We're going to be at the. We're going to be going to a lot of panels and doing a lot of stuff that weekend, and probably drinking heavily also. But we're also going to definitely check out the Con Carnage Carousel from our friends at Con Artists Entertainment. They're having a panel on Sunday called Death to Fanboys, and it's about the fanboy mentality. Is it ruining comics as we know it? Is it really hurting the industry or helping it? So, and I would say, by the name of the panel, it is probably hurting it.
In their opinion.
Yes.
And we may just be recording at the con.
Yeah, we're going to record our episode next week, more than likely. Also, don't forget to check out our King of the Nerds edition with our interview with Celeste and our recap review that just came out. And then in a couple of days, probably Tuesday or Wednesday, we'll put up our Norm Brayfogle interview. It's 2 hours of just awesome stories and discussion and conjecture and all kinds of good stuff. So check that out. And don't forget to check out InvestComics.com, all the good stuff they have on there. And go to Famous Faces and Funnies in West Melbourne, Florida, and check out their booth at MegaCon. Buy their stuff.
It might be the booth at the end.
Maybe the booth at the end.
Rick would have set it up that way.
That would be awesome. Anything else you want to talk about?
I'm going to be late for work.
Okay. Well, since Jason's going to be late for work and we've talked for an hour and a half, that's going to be it.
No. Watch the Iron Man 3 trailer if you haven't done it already.
Yeah.
Goddamn Hulkbuster.
And also go check out the Wonder Woman fan film. I'm going to post that on Facebook later.
Have you seen the Punisher Dirty Laundry film?
No, but I will.
It's on YouTube. Thomas Jane made it.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
I'm going to look that up then.
He made like a 15-minute Punisher movie. It's on YouTube.
Anymore, they should take the hints from fan films and go with those. Just make like full versions of those because they're great.
Not only that, he was all about the Punisher and he wanted to do the Punisher.
Yeah.
They should listen to somebody that's crazy about it. Because no executive's ever been crazy about anything.
No.
That's what makes them executives.
It's true.
They can be pretty into stuff and then try to make money with it. So the people that are the content creators that are crazy about it, let them fucking do what they want.
All right.
Because then you don't have to deal with the Punisher Warzone movie. You can get the right movie.
That's true. All right, we'll let you go to work.
We'll wrap this up. Spirit of Vengeance.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can't wait. I haven't watched that yet.
Knocking at the door! Fucking Nicolas Cage at his finest.
Yes. Yes, it is.
So enjoy.
All right, guys, that's all for us this week. Thank you. I'm Sean Cobble.
I'm Sean Sorenson.
And
I'm Jason Craycroft.
And we'll see you at MegaCon, and we'll talk to you next week.